Welcome to the second lecture with regard to the topic managers as leaders. In this presentation, we will talk about behavioral theories of leadership. Now, in the last lecture, we discussed about the trait theories of leadership, which essentially talked about the qualities of a good leader. So, uh, the focus of the researcher was that if the leaders have certain characteristics or traits, they would become more effective. But later researchers found that it is not so. It is not only the traits, but also the behavior that made a leader effective. The researchers started focusing on the behaviors. There are certain studies which will be highlighted in this lecture. One such study is the University of Iowa, which identified three leadership styles. So when we talk about behavior, we are talking about the styles of leaders. So when the leader exhibits a particular behavior, we say that that leader has a particular style. So the University of Iowa studies identified three leadership styles. One is the autocratic style, where the leader exhibited authority. The authority was centralized. The leader had a lot of authority, and there was low participation from the followers. So, as the term itself explains, the leader exhibited an autocratic behavior. The second style is the democratic style, which where there are a lot of involvement with the followers in terms of decision making. There was high participation between the leader and the followers, and there was a constant feedback, flow of information, and feedback to and fro the leaders and between the leaders and the followers. The third style is called laissez-faire style, which is essentially a hands-off management, where the leader gives the entire task to the followers and approaches a hands-off style. So, what is the implication or the practical implication is that this particular study gives an understanding about the style and the behavior, uh, which you can see it in practice. When you work in an organization, you will see that there are a lot of leaders which exhibit some of these styles. But the researchers again has found mixed results. The researchers haven't found a particular style which is giving better performance always. But the researchers found that the employees were more satisfied under a democratic leader than an autocratic leader. Understandably so, because the leaders would involve the followers or the employees in the decision making, as well as in all aspects of the management. So they would naturally feel better under a democratic leader. Another set of studies from the Ohio State University identified two dimensions of leader behavior. So the first study talked about three styles of leaders. Well, this study tried to understand the style on two dimensions. One is the initiating structure. Initiating structure refers to how the leader is able to define his as well as the role of other group members. So the leader clearly identifies and clearly communicates what is expected from the group members, and leader also have a clarity of what is expected out of him. Second is the trust and respect for the group members' ideas and feelings. That is what is called as consideration. So, based on these two dimensions, you can have four different styles: high, low, etc. So, generally, high leaders, that is, leaders who are having high initiating structure, who is able to clarify the roles and expectations, as well as the leader who has high consideration, that is a mutual trust and respect, generally achieved high group task performance and satisfaction. But there are evidences which talks that it's not only the style but also the situational factors that also influence the leadership effectiveness. But this study was a was a key study because it really talked about the different dimensions of leader behavior rather than just bracketing a leader as an autocratic or democratic. Uh, then there was again another follow-up study by University of Michigan, which again identified two dimensions of leader behavior. One is employee orientation, how the leader is valuing the personal relationship, and production orientation, as to how the leaders are emphasizing the task accomplishment, how the leaders are very focused on achieving the goals. Again, the research finds that the leaders who are employee oriented are strongly associated with a high group productivity and satisfaction. So, the leaders who have emphasizing on personal relationship, who value the relationship with the employees, are strongly associated with the group productivity. Another important concept to understand in the behavioral approaches to the leadership is the managerial grid, proposed by Robert Blake and Jane Morton in 1964. Again, the study takes two dimensions. One is concern for people and concern for production. And using these two dimensions, uh, the researchers have placed the leaders or the managerial styles into five categories, which will be explained uh, in the grid. So the country club management style is 1-9. That is, the leaders will have a high concern for people and a low concern for production. The leaders are more worried or more thoughtful about satisfying the personal relationship between the members of the organization rather than on the work aspect. Then there is another style called impoverished management, that is 1-1, that is low concern for production and low concern for people. So here the focus of the leader is to have minimum effort to get the required work done, so that the organization membership is sustained, that is that they will not be fired for poor performance. So the minimum acceptable performance the leaders will ensure, but other than that, the leader is neither concerned about the people nor concerned about the production. Then we have the task management, where the leaders exhibit high concern for production and a low concern for people. The efficiency is the key word here, the efficiency in the operations. So wherever possible, the human elements will be discarded by the leaders, and wherever possible, the leader will try to ensure that the production or the efficiency in operation is ensured. So there's high focus on the task. Then you have the ideal situation 9-9, where the leaders will exhibit high concern for people as well as high concern for production, which is called as team management. So the work is accomplished in the form of committed people. There is a lot of interdependence. The common goals are set. There is a common stake in the organizational purpose. So there is mutual respect. There is excellent performance. Then you have the the middle of the road management, that is 5-5, where there is adequate organizational performance is made possible through balancing concern for people and concern for production. So this is the managerial grid. So recapping what we have looked at so far, the University of Iowa talked about the behavioral dimension like democratic, autocratic, and laissez-faire. Democratic style involves subordinate delegating authority, no, involving subordinates, delegating authority, and encouraging participation. And democratic style of leadership is considered to be most effective, although later studies were not able to convincingly confirm that it is the best style to adopt. Autocratic is, of course, dictating work methods. There is a centralized decision making, a limited participation from the followers. Laissez-faire style give the group the freedom to make decisions and complete the work with a minimum intervention from the leader. Ohio State studies talked about two dimensions: consideration, that is being considerate of the followers' ideas and feelings; then the initiating structure, how well the leader is able to structure work relationship, and role expectations. Leaders who are high in consideration, high in initiating structure, were considered to be very effective leaders. Then there is a University of Michigan studies which talked about the again two dimensions: employee orientation and production orientation. Employee orientation emphasized interpersonal relationship. The leaders are more focused on taking the care of employees' needs, while production orientation emphasizes on technical or task aspect. And researchers confirmed that employee-oriented leaders were associated with high group productivity and higher job satisfaction. And finally, we also looked at the managerial grid, where Blake and Morton has identified five styles based on concern for people measured, which measured the leader's concern for subordinates on a scale of 1 to 9, and concern for production, which measured the leader's concern for getting the job done on again a scale of 1 to 9. And leaders, of course, performed best with a 9 style, that is high concern for production and high concern for people. So this is the behavioral theories of leadership. Again, one of the key contribution of behavioral style is that it looked at the various dimensions that create a good leader, but it was not, the behavioral theories of leadership were not able to really tell the managerial community or managerial community as to which is the best style. Why? Because situational factors was not considered while looking at the effectiveness of it. So all these presentations were derived from these textbooks, management by Stephen Robbins and Mary Porter, and management by James Stoner. So thank you.